The political world is in turmoil as shocking new claims surface. Did Boris Johnson strike a secret deal with Nigel Farage in 2019 to secure his landslide victory? These explosive accusations have left the former Prime Minister's legacy hanging by a thread, as new light is shed on the alleged backroom negotiations that may have given Johnson the edge over Jeremy Corbyn. Are these allegations true, or just another political scandal? Strap in, because this story will leave you questioning everything. In a bombshell revelation that has sent shockwaves through the British political landscape, Boris Johnson is facing renewed accusations that he struck a covert deal with Nigel Farage during the 2019 general election campaign. As the former Prime Minister embarks on his book tour to promote his new memoir, Unleashed, he has been forced to address explosive claims that he and Farage reached a secret understanding to prevent the pro-Brexit vote from being split. Sitting down with Camilla Tominey on GB News, Johnson categorically denied any deal with Farage. He insisted, "I didn't do any deal," but the timing of Farage's decision to stand down 317 Brexit Party candidates in critical constituencies during the election campaign has raised serious questions about whether there were under-the-table discussions to ensure a Conservative landslide victory. The allegations have reignited suspicions of backdoor negotiations that allowed Johnson to unite the Brexit vote and storm back into Downing Street against then Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. Farage's withdrawal from the race at the last minute was crucial. By stepping aside, he helped the Tories prevent the pro-Brexit vote from splitting, a move that proved pivotal in securing Johnson's victory. But now, the resurfacing of these claims has put the spotlight back on what exactly transpired in the lead-up to that election, and whether Johnson's landslide victory was truly the result of political strategy or a secret pact with Farage. While Johnson vehemently denies the allegations, Farage himself has added fuel to the fire by revealing that certain figures in the Conservative Party did indeed approach him with offers to pull out of key seats in exchange for political favours. Farage described these offers as bribery and corruption on the most extraordinary level, claiming that the Tories were desperate to prevent his party from taking votes away from their candidates. According to Farage, one offer included a peerage, which he adamantly rejected, saying, "I wouldn't take a peerage under any circumstances." During his interview with GB News, Johnson attempted to downplay the allegations, stating that while there were no formal deals, the decision for Farage to stand down candidates ultimately benefited both sides. "We would have gone on, I'm sure, to win the election anyway," Johnson claimed. But as the dust settles, the question remains. Was this simply a tactical decision by Farage, or was there more going on behind the scenes? Despite Johnson's denials, many political observers remain sceptical. Farage's move to pull his candidates from the race came just as Johnson had returned from Brussels with a revamped Brexit deal. The timing was too convenient, many say, and the fact that Farage's withdrawal cleared the path for a Tory victory has led some to believe that there were secret discussions that we may never fully know the extent of. These whispers of a gentleman's agreement have long hovered over Johnson's 2019 win, but the latest revelations have reignited the debate and cast fresh doubt on the integrity of that victory. As Boris Johnson reflects on his time in office and the challenges that ultimately led to his downfall, the role of Farage and Reform UK in reshaping the political landscape cannot be ignored. Reform UK, the successor to the Brexit Party, emerged as a significant force in the 2024 general election, winning 14.4% of the vote and securing 5 seats in Parliament. This surge in support for Farage's party dealt a severe blow to the Conservative Party, which lost dozens of seats, many of them to Reform UK. Reflecting on the damage done by Farage's return to the political scene, Johnson admitted that the Tories had essentially machine-gunned their support to Reform UK Labour and the Liberal Democrats. The once solid Brexit coalition that Johnson built in 2019 had fractured, and as a result, the Conservative Party found itself in a state of freefall by 2024. Johnson lamented the state of the party under his successors, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, claiming that their failure to unite the party and address the concerns of Brexit voters was a significant factor in the disastrous election result. Reform UK's rise, in particular, posed a serious threat to the Tories, as a growing number of former Conservative voters shifted their allegiance to Farage's party. Johnson pointed out that in the Redfield and Wilton opinion poll conducted just before his resignation in 2022, the Tories were only 6 points behind Labour. Reform UK was polling at just 5%, far behind both the Liberal Democrats and the Greens. However, by 2024, things had taken a drastic turn. Reform UK managed to secure 14.4% of the vote, a significant leap from where they had been 2 years earlier. Johnson admitted that this surge in support for Farage's party was devastating for the Tories, noting that around 25% of 2019 Tory supporters had switched their vote to Reform UK. Another 12% backed Labour, while 7% turned to the Liberal Democrats. In his interview, Johnson expressed regret over the party's failure to maintain the coalition that had delivered his landslide victory in 2019. He suggested that had he remained in power, the outcome of the 2024 election would have been very different. "We were only a handful of points behind in the polls," he said. "Nothing like the huge gaps that opened up under my successors. And Reform was on 0%. I think we would have had a very good shot." But as Johnson looks back on what could have been, the reality of the 2024 election paints a different picture. The Conservative Party was handed a crushing defeat, losing dozens of seats to Labour, the Liberal Democrats, and Reform UK. The party was left with just 121 seats in Parliament, its worst result in decades. Johnson attributed this defeat to a loss of focus on the levelling up agenda that had been central to his 2019 campaign, arguing that the party had junked the policies that resonated with Brexit voters. As Johnson prepares to release his memoir, there is little doubt that these controversies will play a significant role in shaping his legacy. The allegations of backroom deals with Farage may never be fully proven, but the impact of Farage's decision to pull his candidates in 2019 is undeniable. It allowed Johnson to secure a majority that few believed possible at the time, but it also sowed the seeds of the Conservative Party's downfall. Looking forward, the rise of Reform UK and the fragmentation of the right-wing vote pose serious challenges for the Tories. Farage has made it clear that his party is here to stay, and with a growing number of disillusioned Tory voters turning to Reform UK, the future of the Conservative Party is more uncertain than ever. For Johnson, the regret over his forced resignation is clear. He remains convinced that his vision for Britain could have carried the party to victory once again, had it not been for the internal turmoil that led to his ousting. As the political landscape continues to shift, the question remains: will the Conservative Party be able to rebuild, or will Reform UK take its place as the dominant force on the right? Boris Johnson's legacy is far from settled, and as more details emerge about his time in office and his relationship with Farage, the political world will be watching closely to see how this saga unfolds.